Hiya pals, I'm Tally, welcome back to my channel. Let me start by saying I hate phrases like YOLO and life is short, you've got to make the most of it, because I'm always scared that I'm not making the most of it and I'm not loving my life as much as I could. So this video is some tips and tricks that I found for loving your life. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at this in any stretch of the imagination. These are tips that I need to work on as well. But it's just a couple of things I found from doing some research that I thought would be a good idea, and we can hold each other to account and work on these things and love our lives together. So I'm going to split this into things that you can actually do, like active steps you can take, and into more mindset changes that you can make. Is to get clear on your goals and take active steps towards doing them. Have a big old journaling sesh and just get to know what you want in life and what your goals are, maybe for the next year, or maybe you could set some longer term goals. And it's all well and good setting all these goals, but you then need to take active steps towards them. So a way that I found to do this is to take your overall goals for the year and then every month set yourself some monthly goals that will help you work towards the yearly goals. And then you can break it down even further. Set some weekly goals that will help you work towards your monthly goals, will help you work towards your yearly goals. And before you know it, you'll be achieving your yearly goals and your life will be on track with how you want it. Cut out negative people and negative things. Maybe you've got a friend who always takes more than they give, or maybe your family member isn't supportive, or maybe there is just a habit that you have that is really not constructive to your life and you want to give it up, like drinking. These people and these things are a drain on your resources and they're not letting you live life to the full, so just get rid of them. I know this is a lot easier said than done, but try as much as possible to cut these people and these things out of your life. Keep moving forward, because if you're standing still, you're actually going backwards. I don't know if that's an actual saying, but it totally should be. What I mean by this is don't get comfy in your life, in your job, in your hobbies. Learn some new skills, ask for that promotion, take the plunge and go freelance, or just try some new hobbies. Whatever it is, just be open to change. Because when you're comfy, that's when you get stuck in your own habits and routines and you're living life on autopilot. I bet there are loads of things that you love to do that absolutely bring you joy, but you just don't do them as often as you could. One of these things for me is getting massages, and yes, they are expensive, and yes, you might need to take time to do whatever it is that you love, but prioritize this thing when you're setting your budgets and when you're organizing your time, and you will get more joy into your life because you're doing the things that you love more often. If you find that you get really excited and motivated for a little period of time, but then kind of forget about it and forget about your goals next month, then book in some adventures, big and small. This could be just a little weekend away or an art gallery you wanted to go to. If you book them in the calendar and get the tickets, then you have to go to them and it gives you something to look forward to. So you won't run the risk of it being months later and you don't know where the time has gone and you're no closer to living your ideal life. So this all sounds well and good, but you still need to do some boring stuff. You can't be doing fun stuff all the time. But why don't you make the boring stuff more interesting? Do the boring stuff in a more interesting way. You could talk to someone on the bus, you could listen to a new podcast on the commute, you could have a boogie while you're brushing your teeth, or you could eat your dinner outside, if it's warm enough. Changing it up a bit will mean that all of the boring tasks won't just run into each other and you'll actually be leading an exciting life without even realising it. Don't compare yourself to people. Again, very much easier said than done. But the next time you're thinking, oh, I love that person on Instagram's outfits, why are they always on holiday? Why am I not on holiday right now? Just remind yourself that social media is a fake place where people are putting on a show rather than showing their actual lives. And also, if we were all the same as the people we compare ourselves to, life would be really boring and there would be no variety. And if you really can't help comparing yourself to someone, that's a negative thing, so cut it out of your life, as I said before. Unfollow them on social media, or if it's someone in real life, you don't need that vibe around you. You've probably watched a load of videos like this or read a load of blog posts, or maybe you're learning something new and you've done all of the research and you've done all the studying. Now you actually need to do something about it and implement what you've learned. I am a big sucker for this one. I love watching an inspirational video, reading an inspirational book, but then I don't actually implement all of the things that I've just learned. So this is definitely a note to self. When you're first falling in love with a person, you put way more effort in, don't you? Into your appearance, into how your home looks, maybe into like learning some new interesting topics to talk about. Why don't we treat falling in love with our lives the same way? If you put a bit of effort into making yourself look nice and making your home nice, then not only will that give you a confidence boost, but it's also kind of faking it till you make it. If you look really put together and your space is lovely, then people will think that you are a confident person, and you will just kind of exude that confidence until you actually feel it. One of the biggest attitude changes you can make is to live your life with gratitude. This makes you realise that what you thought was a really bad day actually isn't that bad, and also helps you learn from any mistakes that you make and any bad things that do happen. Say you missed your bus. This might seem like the most annoying thing and super inconvenient, but you could spin it on its head and say, I'm grateful that I missed my bus because that meant I got a lovely walk to work and I got some exercise in. You'll definitely have heard this buzzword floating around, but live your life intentionally. And this might seem just like a wishy-washy throwaway phrase, but it really means to make every single decision and every single action relate back to your goals and your values. This means that every single thing you do is on purpose and is contributing to your overall life and your love for your life. This might sound all well and good, but sometimes you just go through a shitty time, and it is very hard to love your life when you are going through that. But one thing you can do in your mindset is to know that shitty stuff isn't permanent and it will pass. Even though it feels like this is the worst it's ever going to be and it's going to be this way forever, it will pass in time. And while it might seem impossible to love your life while the shitty thing is going on, if you incorporate all of these tips that I just said, you can live life a little bit more optimistically and a little bit more intentionally. And then when the shitty thing has passed, you will be so grateful that it has passed, and you will appreciate your life even more for it. Loving yourself is one thing, but loving the life that you're living is a completely different thing in my opinion. The two do interact. If you love your life, then you're more likely to love yourself, but they are kind of standalone things that need to be tackled separately. I really hope you found these tips useful, guys. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.